frail old woman at the table next to mine. His voice was like an ancient violin, and he spoke to me. That voice, that voice. I believe they call it falling for a man, but this falling made me fly, left me soaring for the sky. There wasn't any sense, there was no plan, but who would trade this passion for the safety of dry land? Not I. Not he. And we knew we had to travel far away. We knew we had to disappear where no one else could find us. A sailing ship would take us from the bay. Its sails would fill with an offshore wind to blind us. We gambled our security, the future for the now. Sailed off toward the storm, safety cast aside. We'd gone below what reason would allow, but who could tame the tidal wave and tell it where to go? Not I. Not you. Shaking underneath her hat. A decent set of values is no friend. It's reason now that blinds us. Please believe. And passion is not willing to be steered. Purity alone won't fill a ship's white sails. Life will sometimes bring what we most feared. And who could ever say when to go or when to stay? Not you, not we. Not I. I carried that dream as a girl, dreaming by a fjord so deep. that my destiny called from the deck of that great coastal ship. Always at evening when the ship hailed from far out at sea, saying she heads north as I ran to the harbor to see. I carried that dream as a girl dreaming by a fjord so deep that my destiny called from the deck of that great coastal ship. A feast coming in, an Arabian night with a taste of salt, fun, goodbyes and good Lord, there you are. These boxes with cats, these eggs that must not be broken, these sailors' cries and rope thrown down on the dock for tying, seeing the world itself arriving. Always at evening, that's when the ship called out to me, saying she heads north as I ran to the harbor to see. I carried that dream as a girl dreaming by a fjord so deep that my destiny called from the coastal ship far out at sea, made of steel and fairy tale, was a sight. The captain's black uniform with stripes golden bright, happiness coming in, happiness coming through the dark. I carried that dream as a girl dreaming by a fjord so deep that my destiny called from the coastal ship far out at sea. She was rather young. She was standing at the counter of a dusty old arcade. She must have weighed at least 200 pounds. But everything she sold so slim and finely made. I'd seen nothing so enchanting for so long. This was Montreal, I was hiding from the rain. She wore black fingernails and went right into a song as she slowly came to me with this refrain. I'm selling all my mother's clothes, her lingerie, her skirts and coats. Her beauty was as pure as this affair is sordid. And I'm selling all my mother's clothes, and yes, I find it morbid. Smoked as she handled dark velour. These handmade things she showed me in her dramatic fashion. She saw for me these clothes held an allure. The moire and silk seemed to stir my passion. It was Dior, it was Chanel, a certain cut I seemed to see. The black-nailed girl could clearly see my weakness, a weakness fed by a strange and sensuous dream. With a joyless laugh she said those lines again. I'm selling all my mother's clothes, her lingerie, skirts and coats. Her beauty was as pure as this affair is sordid. And I'm selling all my mother's clothes, and yes, I find it morbid. She showed me last a handbag made of velvet. In it were expensive stones like amethyst and jade. Black sapphires had been shaped just like a rose. For the funeral of a lover, her mother had them made. It probably was Paris where he died, is what she said, as this big forgotten daughter glanced towards the window. I'll sell the sapphires cheap, the man's long dead. With a vacant laugh she gave those lines again. I'm selling all my mother's clothes, her lingerie, her skirts and coats. Her beauty was as pure as this affair is sordid. And I'm selling all my mother's clothes, and yes, I find it morbid. hurts to see you dance. Still, I don't walk away from the pleasure and the pain. That sweet, sweet sorcery of lust demanding me remain. Your arm caresses her shoulder, your fingers intertwine. My heart is pounding so strange, as if her heart were mine. I feel a part of my being, my trembling, my warmth, my fear would always live in the one that you are holding near. Your arm caresses her shoulder, your fingers intertwine. My heart is pounding so strange, as if her heart were mine. I feel that part of my being, my trembling, my warmth, my fear would always live in the one that you are holding near. Like a hammer, the rhythm holds me entranced. It hurts hearing your laughter, it hurts to see you dance. The seagulls sitting by the waterfront like sculptures made of stone. Watching summer good times fly away and leave the seagulls all alone. Birds are like suddenly away. Birds are like words, some of them will stay. See the empty seats beneath me, thinking of the days I spent with you. Are circling in my mind and make me blue. times fly away and leave the seagulls alone. Birds are like worms suddenly awake. Birds are like worms, some of them stay. Birds are like worms, suddenly wake. Birds are like worms, some of them will stay. Day is the veil that you can't pull aside like a curtain, sewn from a black cloth, a cloth that no one can see. No one can take it away, and you know this for certain. No one can help you, you might as well let the cloth be. You no longer are able to see, you no longer have foresight, and you can't part the curtain, there's no way to know what's in store. You're stranded in time, a ghost that is lost in the twilight, and the curtain is woven from the memories of a time gone before. Day is blank paper, but paper you never can write on. Unlike the letters I hold that you sent to me, but the words that you've written are buried, speaking to no one, and words that have lost all their soul should never be. You knew from the first touch this was a pathway to danger. You didn't take time to close all the doors and the gates. Feelings can bring you so near and still leave you a stranger, and things are not what they appear, but you find out too late. Day is the thief that you don't have the courage to track down, who forces himself into all the rooms of your home. He comes to your garden, your secrets, his quiet makes no sound. He steals all the answers and leaves all the questions alone. And you know there'll be days just like the ones that you once knew. And you know that love is really a question of thirst. And you know that one day there will be a new power within you, but you dread all the days in between that will seek you out first. seen together on cobblestones not made for my high heels. As we drifted along, slowed down by the weather. No need to talk about the way that summer feels. We went in through a doorway to a rundown bar beneath the ground, to a place that the sun has never been. Coming in from the day to the darkness and the shadows, the feeble lights could not dispel the gloom. Slowly making our way, we found an empty table. The winter seemed to live inside this room. This Copenhagen cavern, a rundown bar beneath the ground, a place that the sun has never seen. Between the tables with a vacant look and thinly braided hair. She was all of 16, straight from a Dickens fable. She was pleading for some money for her fare. The Copenhagen waiter wanted her back on the street, but some impulse made us offer her a chair. As I started to speak, I sensed a strong emotion. She said, I am from northern Norway too. She had come for a week, a journey with her school friends, but a year had passed her by before she knew. She said, I come from Senja, a village on the outer coast, but the climate here affected me much more. Walking into the lane, looking back in through the window, the light of day now seemed a little strange. Would she leave for the train? Would she stay another winter? She moved between the tables begging change. We'd been walking so far through cobblestone back alleys. No need to talk about the way that summer feels. as you see the church tower mirrored in the swell. You will sail around the cliff and watch the sunrise, shining light upon the high and sleepy hill. As the town awakes, washed in light and shadow, while the other town still sleeps so dark and still. You will stand on board and watch them throw the toll line. You will see the men who catch it on the pier, and you feel a chill as you leave the railing. Come down the bridge where the town is really near. You might hear the hammers pounding in the shipyard, or watch the boats leave toward the fishing ground. Will they discover if it's worth this early journey to rise up before the other sleeping towns? You must wave farewell to those who've stayed on board. Beyond your voyage, there are secrets you must know. In this town that knew you once and held you closely, that owned your morning hours so long ago. You approach the town slowly from the water. You're a stranger somehow as you walk ashore. In this town that hides old images and stories, maybe new songs that you will, maybe new songs, maybe new songs that you will soon explore. We should have begun again if we knew then what we know now. We should have known what really counts and what was unimportant somehow. Should have ventured cautiously, not quickly, so abrupt. close our eyes, count to 10. We should have begun again. Being together so quiet and still. Being who we are, so fulfilled. Not laughing, not talking, not crying. A riddle beside another riddle. A riddle beside another riddle. We should have begun again. Should have learned each other's different ways of seeing. Should have known that heart and soul will have their way above our own well-being. We should have been more giving, but the lessons pass so soon. Turn to Buddha, turn to Zen. We should have begun again. Being together so quiet and still. Being who we are, so fulfilled. Not laughing, not talking, not crying. A riddle beside another riddle. A riddle beside another riddle. We should have begun again. Should have played a little more before life caught us. Should have known about the pain, to enjoy the wealth of gifts that life had brought us. To search for something to believe. What's the dead end? What's the door? When to fight, when to make amends. We should have begun again. Being together so quiet and still. Being who we are, so fulfilled. Not laughing, not talking, not crying. A riddle beside another riddle. A riddle beside another I would like to give you a song, not the one that goes, you mustn't ever leave me, baby, and I hate to see you go. Not the kind that's saying you don't treat me right and still I love you. Not the one with the refrain about your loving arms again. So I find a way to celebrate your beauty, but the words are hard to find. They've been used 100 times and somehow don't belong. Still, I would like to give you a song. I would like to give you a song, not the kind with baby you must take me to the sea. I know where the ocean lies. I don't want to tell you that my heart belongs to Daddy. It is you who are my prize. Maybe I should sing of how your love thrills me here and now. That you are when you are there, the way you are. But the cliches have their way. Everything I try to say seems wrong. Still, I would like to give you a song.